Yes, I think I am live. I am live indeed. Am I live? Let me check. Yes, I am. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal. I'm in the building. This is episode 217. Let me get a little close here. Yes, indeed, man. I'm back. Took yesterday off. Had to do some things. Hope you didn't miss me too much. I'm back on the air, ladies and gentlemen. Following these penny stocks. Yeah. Woo! Boy, we had some fire plays over the last 2 days, man. I'm pumped up, man, because we got a lot of great shorts. We got a lot of great runners. I love weeks like this. We got HMNY, we had ITOS, we had WAC, we had some pumps. We had ARLT, 12,000% in one day. Man, it was just hot. It was fire. It's your boy Sal back in the building, man. Again, shout out to everybody joining me in the chat room. Felix, who's in here? Roderick Gray, Abro, Otis Johnson, DJ, Donzel Essex, Cool Cats, Robert Paulo, Quintavious Lanier. Yes, indeed, man. Let me go ahead and stop the music. Appreciate you guys joining me. Let's go ahead and get things popping. I hope you guys had a really good trading day. We had a lot of tickers run, man. We had so many different tickers that were running. This was one of the best days over the last maybe 2 weeks or so in the market. I mean, we had 115% gain. We had 87%. We had a 70% gain. We had a 50% gainer, a 40% gainer, 29, 26%, 21%, 15. I mean, we had multiple double-digit gain in the exchanges today, both on the NASDAQ and OTC markets. Both on the NASDAQ and OTC markets. Here's one of the plays that ran today. WAC. WAC was clearly pure pump. There was an article that came out today. That mentioned that real estate investment trusts are doing just numbers out there in Houston, where you're having individuals who didn't have flood insurance. What's going on is that these real estate investment trusts have sent out, I don't know if these are representatives. I guess that's the only thing I can use for them, to buy out these people's properties. So basically what they're doing is that they're not necessarily offering them, any kind of profit. They're just basically saying, look, you don't have flood insurance. We're interested in your property. What did you have in your mortgage? We'll cut you a check right now, and you can leave, with what owed you. I mean, what you got owed. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win for the real estate investment trust and for the individual who, may not be able to afford to fix their property. Obviously, if you're someone who's, paid off a significant amount of your debt, or your mortgage, rather, because mortgage is basically debt, then you can just refinance and go ahead and pay off for the damage. But I don't know if you can even do that, being with the fact that the house would probably be assessed for significantly lower than it's worth fixed up. But again, you got to have a bank that goes into deeper shit. But anyway, the real estate investment trusts are making a killing. Walter Investment Management, that was basically the idea behind that pump. That was basically the idea behind that pump. All right, we'll get to a lot of other tickers here. Got an early call. 845, you're on the air. What's up?
It's Ken. How's it going?
Hey, Ken. What's up, man?
How are you? The RETC that I texted you. I sold half it yesterday and the other half today. Thank God I got out.
Yeah, man. RETC.
Nice run.
Yeah, I know you had been talking about that. Let me get back to the daily chart here. It was an oversold stock that looks like it kind of came alive yesterday.
Right.
But it had a good 2-day run. It just looks like it's over now, though.
Right, small float, and don't you like those kind of setups where they come down, they're down and they
of course. I love that, especially for real companies. OTCs, it's kind of give or take, but yeah, I mean that played just like a larger exchange stock for the last 2 days anyway.
It did, and the other one was NAK that I know you texted me back on the NAK because you and I have talked about this last couple of weeks. 180 is the level, and it broke through it today, and the volume was impressive.
Man, that's this is one of those things where the way it's stabilized at 180, it makes you think that there's something else going on. But I looked through the news when we talked about it, and I didn't see why these longs are so committed. So I don't know if there's something else going on here that I'm not seeing or what, but something else is going on here that's got people so committed in this stock, and I'd like to find out when I get a chance.
Who knows? I mean, you always read about the rumors of a takeover because Rio. We'll see, but I think it's a good technical play right now. Yeah. One more thing to mention to you, the ALRT, I found out about it from an alert from some other guy this morning when it was at like 10 cents already. It went to, I think it hit a high of 13 and it came back down to 7. You could have bought back in at 7 at around 12 noon and doubled your money.
This was an insane play. I mean, this was if you remember a stock called... what was that one? It was gosh, what was that called? The one that was waiting for an FDA announcement. Gosh,
that guy that went to jail. I don't know. That was another.
It was the one that, remember, it was like a something cell or some crap medical company like that. I forgot. I'm sure it'll come back to my head. But anyway, here you have a stock that was sitting at basically below a penny. Right. It opened up at 002 today. Then they come out and say they got an FDA, clearance for a product, and the stock went insane. I mean, this stock gained 12,000% today. Now, here's the thing that was crazy, because in the chart, you don't even see any kind of evidence that somebody kind of like went in early or anything like that. I mean, this was a pure... Hey, the company released this information. It's like a real company. I mean, they literally released it like a real company.
Right, and there's some kind of number, FDA number, that people on the iHub are saying that, but the FDA doesn't have it on their site yet. It takes a couple days, they're claiming. So, could it run? If you look at the 5-year chart, at 20 cents. I guess 20 cents is the next. Area.
Yes, I don't doubt tomorrow that this has a second day. It put up insane volume today. I mean, the average volume was only 3,000 shares.
Really? Wow.
It put up 47 million shares today. So I don't doubt that you're going to have a second day in LRT. Be very careful on this. Obviously, it's still an OTC stock. I mean, the stock is up 12,000%. But, I mean, it came from literally flatline. So, I mean, it's basically a stock that's flatline, and now it's back up and running. So, it's going to find a base, and we're going to have this be part of our lexicon, I think, for the near future at least.
Yeah, it gives us all hope. I mean, the market's hot now, so every day is going to be new winners. A couple more. The NECA and the ONCI, I just keep an eye on them. Those have done so well. I don't know how long it's going to keep going, but especially the NECA, that was a 000, 3 a couple of days ago, 3-4 days ago.
I'm looking at ONCI now. Yeah, ONCI is still hanging up out there. I thought that could at least go to 5, but I'm kind of surprised they kind of pulled back a little bit today. NECA. Let me see here. NECA. Okay, this one I haven't been following up, but nice move there.
It's the sister. They're somehow related. I think you talked about it, that they're sharing the revenues or whatever crap.
Okay, yeah. If I did, I don't remember. But NECA, way to come out of those 000 shares, though. I mean, now at 0011. Again, let's see if we can build off of that. Again, I'm sure. I see here, how long was it in the triples? Okay, so it was there for a while. So you got some people in there who are up heavy. So hopefully they're willing to come in and seeing this run.
All right, very good. All right, enjoy the evening.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Ken.
Yep.
All right, shout out to Ken with those nice little OTC plays. Again, ARLT was just absolutely insane. I mean, I watched it, ALRT, excuse me, ALRT. I mean, I watched it literally the rest of the, as soon as I saw it. I mean, it was already up 200, 300%. Because my alert went crazy, and I couldn't find any, I'm thinking it's getting promoted or something like that. Didn't see it at all. 251, you're on the air. All right, 251, you're out of here. All right, so ALRT, again, that's the ticker, up 12,000%. 12,000%. 12,000%. Wow. How would you have loved to have $500 in that stock? How would you have loved to have, hell, give me $100 in that stock and increase it 12,000% and see what that looks like? See what that looks like. Hell, don't even add it up on what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, it's an FDA clearance. I didn't even know that the company was even doing anything. One last time, 251, you're in the air. What's up?
What's up, Sam? What's going on?
Hey, Anthony, what's up, man?
No, nothing much, man. I heard King talk about the NAK.
Yeah, that's your play.
Oh yeah, I sent you a tweet out. I told you to look at it and see how it ran, because that thing ran from like $1.80 something to 90s. What is $1.97?
Yeah,
almost
it actually almost hit two. It actually hit two. I mean that we all know that those whole numbers can be sometimes resistance. So yeah, it got to a high of $1.98 and been pulled back. It closed at $1.90. So man, I mean this stock showed a lot of commitment. Again, not to beat a dead horse for for the people who've already seen us talk about it, but I mean a lot of commitment over almost, this is about a week, almost a week and a half here. And here we go now, above that mark. Let's see if we can hold it. And guess what? Buyers did commit to closing above that 180 mark, and you did that today.
Oh yeah, because like I said, we was talking about that too, about that pullback. I was telling you about that pullback. What it need to do, either it need to run or it need to, go and do a good hard pullback.
Yeah.
then those that's in it, they're probably, those investors that's in that stock right now, they in for the long term. They in for the long haul.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, because again, the stock has an average of only 600,000 shares traded daily. Right now, you got 6 million shares traded today. So we got some new money in here. I don't know how loyal they are. But something's brewing here, and we're going to find out very soon, because this is, insanely unusual volume for this stock. Something's coming down the pipeline here. We'll find out very shortly.
Well, either way it go for me, you know where I'm at on it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, but gotta grab you a few shares before it get too high for you, say.
I'll see, man. I'll look, man. I mean, it's moving real nicely. So, I mean, we're testing 2. We tested a little bit of 2. You got some, you got a wall up there at the 215, 216-ish. But so far, man, it's headed in the right direction. Let's see how far or how high this can go.
Oh yeah. I appreciate it, Sal, man.
Thank you, Anthony.
I'm gonna finish watching the show.
Yes,
all right.
Indeed. Shout out to my boy Anthony. Appreciate the call. Always checking on his ticker. Loyal follower of NAK. Loyal follower of that stock, man. Oh, man. Too many. We're not even going to get to all the runners today. We got a couple stocks like HMNY that are running up on let's be honest, old news. I mean, kind of running on old news here on HMNY. As you can see here, I got my little paper trade thing up here. I paper traded because I thought the pullback was starting, and I'll do that sometimes where I'll put in a paper trade, and if it starts going the right way, then I'll put in my real money. But the paper trade was already going against you. As you can see here, I opened it up here because I thought it was failing, and sure enough, HMNY kept going. I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like, okay, this is a runner. I'm not even gonna try to get in here. So we'll see how this goes up tomorrow. Up 63% today on news that came out last week. That news that came out last week. And here's the thing. The product Movie Pass that they have, I'm actually a subscriber of Movie Pass. Now, if you guys don't know or don't have Movie Pass, basically it's something that allows you to go to the movies as much as you want. As much as you want. Now, I kind of feel bad because I paid $30 for it. Now it's only $10. And for $10 a month, you can go to the movie theaters unlimited amount of times. I have used it at local theaters here. I know that in the bigger cities, you're not going to have a problem finding theaters. People in the smaller cities, I don't know. I mean, look it up on your on the Movie Pass website. But I have had no problem using it in any large city I'd ever been in or visited. So HMNY, nice day for that stock. Again, just running on the whole idea of that news and just the fact that people wanted something to trade today. Because the morning started off really slow. For those of you guys who were trading this morning, the morning was pretty slow. By about 10:30-ish, 10:45-ish, it was kind of and then that's when, HMNY kind of pulled back and we were like, okay. And then it started breaking out, So HMNY, nice stock today. All right. DCTH. Yeah, man. The stock got delisted. Now trades on the OTC. I mean, I blame the investors for DCTH. I probably won't even bother with it anymore because there's really nothing they can do from there. You got probably a lot of money that needs to get out of that stock. All right, let's take a look at some of your plays. BIOA, oversold play, up 7%. Up 7%. And this is a stock we brought up last week. We brought this up last week, and it's just moving just the way it's supposed to. And you guys remember I put that line up there, the 60 cents, and sure enough, look at it. From that 34-cent entry price where we took a look at it, it looks beautiful. Now you're getting the 60 cents. Beautiful. Love those plays. 919, Bad Scientist. What's up?
Sal, how have you been, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Doing really well, actually. Made 2 overnight swing trades yesterday into today. So that's NBRV and CAPR.
Let's take a look
at
I
bought
MBRV. You said MBRV?
N as in nice. NB, the one that ran yesterday, basically. And then I caught it today for a swing trade from last night and CAPR. So these are both continuation plays.
Yeah, that one ran really aggressively yesterday, but, man, that really shitted on people who didn't know what they were doing on that one, too.
Yeah, and that's why for that one, that was actually very good for me because when you get a bull trap like this, as it's called, some people will call it pump and dump. I don't think, especially for NBRV, that's a pump and dump, but I guess it had a pump and dump type of pattern. But anyway, the key to when a stock is up 100% or more than 100% pre-market, you always have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
So I like to buy my stocks typically at the end of the day and buy into momentum rather than try and chase it, especially if it's already as high as 100%. And Stockguard has talked about this even with his strategy that you want to get something maybe that's up 20-30% at the most, but if it's starting as high as 100%, you have to be very careful. So a lot of people got trapped in this trade, hence it's a bull trap because it looks bullish, but then it kind of bleeds out the whole day. Mm-hmm. So all I did with this is, and I probably traded it the best that I've ever traded anything before because I've been watching a lot of videos on how to trade like a hedge fund, because a lot of us retail traders, we actually do the opposite of what the hedge funds do, and there are many strategies that talk about, ways of improving your trading strategies by trading essentially like these institutional funds or hedge funds. And so all they do with these hedge funds is they know that 95% or whatever that thing is, 95% most of us retail traders will fail. They simply take the opposing position to what most of us take, and they win, 95% of the time, and we fail 95% of the time. Mm-hmm. So instead of trying to jump into this, when it was that high, I just let it bleed through. I actually traded it using, again, the cloud, because it did bust through the cloud. But essentially what it did is it came back down and retested the 200-day moving average, which was $9.36 yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I bought it actually at $9.36, so it actually wasn't a perfect trade because it did close like at $8.87. But I was fortunate that after hours it actually traded back up, and today I actually jumped in. So long story short, these last few days I've been trading with a huge amount of money. You saw, of course, today FTech went up. It cleared $1,
yeah. And
I sold that last week for a $1,300 loss. And it just kind of pisses me off sometimes that, I tend to be a day or two off when I wait for these reversals to happen. So, but I'm not going to beat a dead dog. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. It managed to, FTech cleared $1 today with much higher, I think maybe 10 times the volume that it normally trades. So anyway, that's spilt water or spilt milk. I don't care, because I made all that money back. So essentially, with the swing trade yesterday into today, with those two swing trades, two winners, $1,100 that I made today on those overnight swing trades. And of course, I left a lot of money on the table, but I mean, it was two very good swing trades. And the only wrong thing I did, because I put a small position on CAPR, and I put the very large position on NBRV. The only problem that I had is this morning I saw them move up, and I said, I've seen stocks come down. So I sold, and there I was patting myself on the back. I think NBRV, I left like $1 on the table. I did the same thing for CAPR. So I basically missed a $1,000 game day for myself today, but 1,100 is fine, and I'll be back tomorrow, the day after, for more trading. But in a nutshell, for StockGod who wanted to know how I traded this, is for me, I'm in the biotech. That's my job. I'm a scientist. I'm in the biotech environment, the biotech world, and people can argue with me as to which sector moves the most, but I would argue and say healthcare, hands down.
Oh, absolutely.
Some might say technology or energy stocks, but energy stocks tend to be more seasonal. If you look throughout the whole year, healthcare, hands down, performs the best. So what I did yesterday, especially with NBRV or whatever the stock we were talking about, I actually looked at the fundamentals first before I went into that stock, because I wanted to put my huge position into a stock that I was willing to hold anyway. Mm-hmm. You look at the financials of NBRV, and you'll see that this company has zero debt, $50 million in cash. It has a 1.7 rating from analysts on a 1 to 5 buy-sell scale. So if one is a very strong buy, this stock has NBRV has a 1.7 rating. So essentially, it's a strong buy. You look at the pipeline. The pipeline is actually a pretty solid pipeline. Though essentially, for most of the indications, they're using essentially the same drug for different indications. But regardless, it's a strong pipeline. And then you look at other things like market cap and so on, and beta values. But basically, this one I went into it knowing really well that it had solid fundamentals. So I didn't care what price I was going to get it in, because this is the type of stock that, if it pans out, it's one of those retirement stocks that, it's obviously a $10 stock, and it could go to 20. So that's my criteria. I just use when I'm really all about not messing around, I go into FinViz and I use a filter that selects just biotech stocks that have zero debt, so zero or no debt, and basically use that as a filter. Before, I used to use stocks less than $5, so it could fall under the penny stock realm. But right now, we've all seen on this show that even $10 stocks move.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I don't use that anymore. So biotechs with no debt. Then I look to see what cash they have on hand, because that's also a strong indication of solid governance in that company. And then, I just went into it. At the end of the day, it's always best to go in one of these runners at the end of the day, particularly if there's, reason to believe that there'll be a continuation play. And that's how I played that one.
Absolutely.
CAPR was more of a low RSI type of play. So the one stock that I'm suggesting people look at tomorrow is GEMP. So that's Girl, Elephant, Man, Police, GEMP. And that one basically, I guess they came out of phase 2, and they announced today that they're going to proceed and start phase 3 clinical trials next year. Okay. And this one, like NBRV, is also a $10-ish stock. You can see it has that huge gap that it needs to fill.
Yeah.
But before, what moving average is that, just above the price?
I had the 200 moving average up there.
Okay, fantastic, because that's what I'm using a lot and finding a lot of success with, just like NBRV. That one basically used the 200 moving average as support yesterday as well. So that's the technique I use when I'm now moving to more serious stocks. I pick biotech stocks that have zero debt, so essentially strong fundamentals. And the other one I left off was huge institutional ownership. So NBRV has, I think, 75% institutional ownership. Once again, it favors the governance, the corporate governance of that company or the stock, that it's a solid company to get into. And I look at the pipeline as well. So that's essentially my strategy. And then once I decided that was the stock I was going to get in, then I used technicals. I used the Ichimoku Cloud, another moving average, to decide my entry. And then I got in yesterday at 936. I think I got out at 970 something. And of course it went to 1050 something. But once again, the thought was there and the thesis was correct. So, yes. I'm really excited and encouraged with, everything. I forgot to ask you what you're looking at these days, and, what's...
Well, I'm getting back to shorting, and I'll talk about some of these. That's why I'm so excited about these runners, because I'm just looking for the first red days in a lot of these runners, because many of them we know, as I say, good news eventually turns into old news. So
Right.
HMNY, stocks like MGTI, I
Right.
mean, many of
Right.
them are already
Yeah.
kind of showing some weakness, and I'm looking to exploit that this week as I'm back in investor interactive brokers, and I'm definitely back on the Profitly thing. So I've just got some orders out there
Okay.
waiting, sitting for them to hit my trigger, and then we're off to the races. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. Yeah. HMNY is one of those other ones in the filter for a biotech stock with little or no debt. So that one's constantly showing up on my list as well. But thank you, Sal. I appreciate it. And, I'll send some links out for people who want to know what filter I'm using specific for the biotech plays. But thanks for all that you do. And, I hope everyone takes heed of what you have to teach us day to day. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Bats.
Thank you, Sal. Take care.
Shout out to Bad Scientist. Always a great call. Always a great call. I saw somebody bring up Best Buy. What happened to Best Buy today? Ah, man. You guys know Best Buy. We were all over Best Buy when it sold off. And, again, we were just looking for $57 here. Got the $57, got out. And, whoa, what happened to Best Buy? Once I'm done with the stock, I don't go back and check it. I just almost forget about it. I'm on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you just, it's like holes on a track for me. It's just, I just let them go after I'm done with them. And I don't know what happened today on Best Buy, down 8%. We got ourselves another opportunity here unless we find out this is some kind of damaging Best Buy. Why did it sell off? Hold on. More growth. Yeah, I don't see any news. Best in Walmart. And please don't tell me it's sold off because of what Toys R Us did. Because that bullshit doesn't have anything to do with Best Buy. Okay. I think we might have another opportunity there. I have seen stocks that sell off on dividends. I do see here they posted a dividend here, that 34-cent dividend yesterday. I've seen that before. I didn't think it was that serious. If we're saying that the stock sold off on dividends, or when they pay out a dividend, I have some investors just get paranoid like that. Oh my God, they're giving away earnings, because that's basically what a dividend is a cut of the earnings. And you have some people are that retarded, All right. Anyway, let's go to another stock I'm looking at, ORCL. ORCL is sold off really aggressively. Honestly, I don't care what Oracle is doing right now. The value alone, the underlying value of the company is what I'm interested in. And this is an incredible dip buy opportunity for somebody with patience. And when it comes to, plays like this that I can set and forget, I'll go in with the options. And right now on this one, I'm suggesting you guys, again, I'm looking at, and I've given myself a lot of time because I honestly haven't studied the underlying reasons why it's even doing what it is doing now. But to give myself some patience, the January 19 $50 call, the January 19 $50 call for $1.38, or you can be a little bit more aggressive and go for the $55 call that's going for 37 cents right now. All right. So, and again, it's not holding it all the way to January. I'm talking about a month, 2 months from now, possibly selling this at twice or three times what you paid for it after it gets through whatever the hell it's going through right now. All right, as it continues to sell off here. But I thought the buying was going to conclude today. If you look through the chart, let's go to the 5-minute chart. I thought the buying was going to conclude today as we saw, you know, that what was that around? No, let me go back here. Yeah, as we kind of got around 11:30 or so. Kind of got it around 11:30 or so. All right, but nope. Going lower, going lower. So here's the 5-minute chart over the last couple of days in ORCL. But I like it because now, as you can see, we're seeing this kind of straighten out here. So the selling hopefully is going to be concluding tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be concluding tomorrow. But so far, I love the way this is shaping out. I love the way this is shaping out. So hopefully tomorrow, buyers take control. Can we get a doji candlestick? I'd love that. If we can get even if we get a hammer, I'd like that. But love to see this finally being showing that at least the selling has concluded. We'll see. Shout out to all the new people in the chat room right now. Stock God in the building here. Didn't see you guys earlier. Nice for you guys to be here today. Who else is here? Kenneth Rosenberg, Michael B, Cristiano Fan, Q-Tech, Cool Cats, Add the Leon, Africa Emporium, Joe Silva, Desert Edge, Robert Turman. Yes, indeed. M1 Gunner. All right, one more call. 601, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Staf? This is John from Florida.
Hey, John, what's up, man?
Not too much. I just want to give a shout out to your show, man. I mean, the tickers that are being brought up and the tickers that are being brought out in the Discord room. I mean, it's a lot of money being made if you're keeping up with your show and everything. So
I really hope so, man. I really hope so. I mean, that's the only reason why I did it, because I hated at night doing, my shows. I mean, doing my own research alone and missing plays and all that stuff. So this is an opportunity for me to not have to do my research alone. All the research comes in the chat room and we discuss it. And by the end of the show, you've got, 5 to 10 to 15 stocks that you can go into tomorrow with and say, okay, let's make the best of it.
Yeah, man, that's exactly right. And I certainly appreciate it. So I just want to throw out a few tickers here just to watch one really good one here. And I have actually seen this one. Well, I've seen it brought up on the show multiple times, even way in the past. Mm-hmm. The first one is SN, Sanchez Energy Corporation. Okay. Now, this one here kind of reminds me of what CHK and what Jones can do. I don't know if you looked at Jones here.
Yeah. JONE is an
you thought Jones?
Yeah, J is very interesting play. Nice gain on that today.
Yeah, but if you look at SN, you see it's technically, it looks like it can break out. It's not too high on the RSI. You see that doji. You see that upwards trend. And if you look at the news, they had news release today saying that Sanchez Energy closes $105 million sale with Javelina Assets and Eagle 4. So they actually have some good news on top of they look pretty good technically.
Yeah, I see that came out after hours too, didn't it? Yeah, it looks like it
did.
It
came out after hours. So I think this one could maybe make a move because it's pretty much in the same sector as Jones and CHK. I think this one here could make a move up just like Jones and CHK. Okay. All right, the next one is and I'm not too sure about these next ones here, but I'm pretty sure about it. But this next one here is ROSG, Rosetta Genomics. Okay. It does diagnostic testings for DNA, RNA, and also diagnostic testings for different types of cancer. I like this one technically as well. You look at the RSI, it's spiked up there, but it's 50. I think it still has maybe a little bit of room to go. You look at that strong green Maribatsu. I think that's what you call it, Maribatsu candle.
Yeah. It's got a wick to it, but it's not bad of a day today. I mean, they bought up the bottoms, and it looks like it was going to sell off. Maybe it looked like it was probably done in the morning. Let's see what it looked like on a 5-minute. All right, so yeah, interesting day where you had a sell-off. Well, hold on, oh, man, that's an ugly. Hold on here. Okay, so it started off. Actually starts back here. So it looks like it started off very illiquid in the morning, and then all of a sudden the volume showed up. Was there some news or something that got put out? Because I'm looking at here. Here's where it starts out at. It fooled me here, but it looks like the volume came into the stock at almost exactly at 2 o'clock. Like something got sent out here.
I didn't see it. I was looking for that also. I didn't see any news. I don't know if it was a pump. I don't know how to check and see if somebody's pumping it. But the last piece of news he put out was back on the 8th. So, I mean, maybe it's a slow response time. I'm not sure. Okay. But, yeah, that's a pretty decent play to keep your eye on. So let me ask you this. Are you saying that, because I'm still learning, that is not a Marabutsu if it has a wick at the bottom?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. The Marabutsu is it's a solid long candlestick with no wick, or no shadow.
Okay.
I mean, some people call it a wick, some people call it shadow, but yeah, it's just a solid candlestick.
Oh, okay, thank you. All right, and the next two, not as strong a plays, but WAC, Walter Invest, what's that? Some type of management group. Okay. 40% gain today. That's another. It has a wick at the bottom of another strong looking candle there. A little hot on the RSI, but it still has some room to go up, in my opinion. Yeah. Of course, it would have been better to get in way back on the 19th with that little doji there at the bottom when you had that big strong candle. But looks like it kind of flagged a little bit, and then it broke out today. So I think it can maybe, continue to make a move upwards. And even if it pulls back a little bit, I would still keep my eye on it, because normally when you have that type of breakout, sometimes with these slow-moving swing plays, it can have a bad day, kind of like CHK, and then the next few days it can keep going up. So just keep an eye on that one. And then the last one here is even more questionable, but they have some bad news come out. I think they're being investigated, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there now. But if you look at it technically, it's CMP. That's the ticker.
CMP.
Okay, CMP. Yep.
All right. Compass Minerals.
Yeah. If you pull up that daily chart there, it kind of looks like WAC was right before it broke out. So, like I said, it did have some bad news to come out, but not just huge, horrible, company killing news. They just being investigated for some stuff. But you see that flag, and then you see that doji. It kind of found a little bit of support in forming that flag with the doji, and the RSI is, just going kind of sideways. So that one there could break out, just technically speaking. So that's one to keep your eye on. Okay. And let me see, do I have anything else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I saw USI make a little bit of noise today. What do you think they have? They also released some noise, released some news. What do you think about them?
Yeah, I mean, they're doing some things. I mean, yesterday was a down day for the stock again. It's just one of those things where, again, it's just struggling to get out of the triples. And, again, when it's an opportunity for you to snatch some at those lower, 0005s, 0004s, grab some, because it's always going to be kind of one of those things. But it's just doing what triples do, man, just struggling to make it out of those single digits. But eventually when it gets out of there, and it's going to break out higher, and it's going to finally be able to do its run. But the company's still operating. They're still putting out news. They're still doing their thing. So it's just going to be, again, I know a lot of people have been patient with it, but it's spotty, kind of hitting every other week or every 2 weeks or so. But it'll eventually break out, but it's just going to require patience.
Okay, that last ticker was CEMP. I think you put CMP. I just saw that.
Okay, CEMP. Okay, all right.
Yeah, CEMP. Yeah,
$70 stock. I was like, okay.
No, yeah. Not that one.
CEMP. Spread that out a little bit.
Like I said, it does have a little bit of bad news, but it looks really good technically to me.
Okay.
On the daily, if you kind of zoom in there on the daily, it looks pretty good. So you can just kind of watch that. All
right, we'll keep watching. We'll keep watching the unusual volume with that today. I don't see it, but we'll see what happens. I mean, these things have done stranger things, so we'll see what happens on this one.
All right, man. Thanks for taking my call. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, John. Thank you so much, John.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to John from Florida. Yeah, CEMP, I don't see it. But again, I feel like you kind of almost missed it, really. I mean, from back in August. From where it is now, I just feel like you got too much downside on it. But his ROSG he brought up, that again, that looks like a pump. Just by the way that candlestick, the way that day started out. I mean, if you look at the 5-minute chart again, I mean, this is a very illiquid stock to begin with. And then here's where the morning started out at. And then all of a sudden, all the volume comes here and nobody knows. And I don't see any reason for the move. So easy short tomorrow on this one. I'll be watching this in the AM very carefully. 202, you're on the air. What's up?
What's going on, Brother Sal? Uncle Johnson there to the panel as well.
Hey, African Emporium, what you got for us, man?
Hey, man, just loving the idea that, we're in a position once again that we can make some really big moves.
Yes, indeed.
And not necessarily have to, wait on Mr. Charles to feed us.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that.
Yes, man, the market was phenomenal today. I'm sure everyone that had a chance to go into the market this morning with a plan came out with some profit today. It was just liquid everywhere.
Yeah, today was just, you just really had to step out on and take a risk today, because it's almost like you could have thrown $1 at anything and you would have made something today. That's just how it felt. Anywhere from 9:30 to 10:30, if you were in something today that was above 10% by 10:30, you made money.
Exactly. And what's weird is that we actually had some good carryover. We didn't have the typical, 9:50, 10 o'clock run, pull back, and then stabilize and go sideways and channel all day. Pretty much the only stock that did that within my watch was Staf, STAF.
Yeah,
that was the
one that started off the morning, and I don't know. I felt I was never a believer in this one to begin with, but I mean, I was kind of surprised how I did, find a way to stay up there, because I honestly thought it would do an XGTI and just sell off from that gap up, but it just never did that.
Right, and like I said, and good thing about it, because obviously Staf had, it has that history, where it has some good news to come out, and and a spike, and then it just pretty much sells off. Typically today it kind of held its own. Obviously it spiked up above that dollar range and pulled back within that 90s. It kind of channeled out through the day, and so gave buyers a chance to kind of say, well, if they want to play it for a secondary swing to see if it's true or not. It didn't make them feel so compromise and just sell all the way off, and everybody just lose it behind. So that was interesting with Staf. And just kind of moving on, we also had, ITIS. ITIS was a continuation, ITUS.
And ITIS was a pump. Am I right or no? Was that pumped yesterday?
Well, it was, but it had news. And this is the thing, because now to the point, like we had this conversation back, I think, in April and months kind of, subsequently after that, when we was like, well, got news stocks that come out now, even with decent base news. They're not necessarily respecting it. The market is not respecting it. They'll pump it, and then it dumps, and then you're done. If you're caught with the bag, you're just caught with the bag. You have to wait for the next news cows to come out. But I just, as you see in the chart there, I mean, phenomenal 2 days in that chart.
Yeah.
And, and like I say, I think they had patent news, if I'm not mistaken, on this one. I could be wrong. But, really good action. It jumped up in the morning, and it kind of pulled back, sold off a little bit, gave a short chance to kind of pile off. Pile in and ride it back down a little bit, but then initially right after that, it hit that base support, and a bullish trend just kind of kicked back in the stock. It jumped up, and spiked. They made a new high day on both of the two spikes, and then it kind of pulled back, and then it, did the same thing, channeled out, and then made another new high. Three high day peaks in that stock. So very bullish stock, and then also. After hours, had a little movement too. So that's another stock, once again, that, people have been eating good off of, and it might be good to keep on your watch list for tomorrow too. So that's another one. And also CAPR, very, very good stock in that one.
Yeah, CAPR, they're very, very bullish today on that one. Had an interesting day yesterday, not too much, but today, man, gap up and, broke that morning high, and it was off to the races on CAPR. Not bad. 70% gain today. Insane.
Very bullish. And the momentum was in this stock from, the time it broke out of that, that initial dip in the morning when it kind of pulled back, reconsolidated itself, flagged a little bit over, and then after that, it just, massive volume came in, popped the stock up, and it just took off. And like I said, any entry you had in that point that you got in that point, you were pretty much in the money. Yeah. And really, really good too. And it closed strong, which was good too. That that has a lot to do with when you're talking to a lot of the new guys that really understand how to play these swing plays, if they're even worthy, on what a good news calendar is, how they finish. Sometimes they say it's not how you start, but how you finish. It's a marathon, not a sprint, more or less. And in the start game, guys, you got to realize exactly that in terms of how you being able to read these swing plays, because most people don't necessarily know if they should swing, if they should, get out and they take profit, whatever. You always want to take profit, you're up, but by all means, if you can swing a trade and save your day trade, then do it. Because if the cow is strong enough and it closes pretty strong, don't waste a day trade. It's not worth it. If anything, you may be down a little bit pre-market if it pulled back a little bit before everybody come in and pile on the dump. But, it's always a risk. We know that's not the exact sign, but just keep that callous, that thought process in mind, guys, when you're out there. But it ran very phenomenally after hours, too. I don't know if you saw that sale. It's up really juicy after hours. It went up another 20 cents, 20-something plus cents after hours. Yeah.
Wow.
So
let me
very
see.
bullish.
I got to check that for myself. These
check
biotests, they'll squeeze you, man. They will squeeze you. In fact, the stock that you had brought up just before this, ITUS, if you look at the way the stock moved at around 1:30 into 2 o'clock and then 2 o'clock after, all I'm seeing is guys getting squeezed. I mean, that's basically what you're looking at, is people literally buying the cover as the stock continues to move higher on that one. But if I look at CAPR, let's go back on that on this chart, and then on this, you are right. We're at 247 right now in CAPR after hours. Not bad.
So it traced pretty much that, that peak point, because it hit that peak at, 266, 260 something. And I kind of sold right into that spike, and I bought back in on the dip. I got back in at 215, and I swung it. I'm swinging it now off into tomorrow, and turned out to be, once again, the chart was right. Phenomenal swing in that, because now off them right back up at 247, so retracing that value in that game. So that was a really good move. I want people to kind of, keep that on their radar, but they play it, they don't. Also, go on WAC. I know John called and talked about WAC. That's a play that me and Corey Lee kind of tag team on. I want to kind of speak on that a little bit, if I could here.
Go ahead.
All right, so WAC, right? WAC, obviously, here's this thing about understanding catching the news before it becomes news. That's why it's always important, if you're new, stay in and out of these different type of boards and chats and investor hangout, investor hub, whatever, because there's always information circulating from people that's doing some extra digging that you may not. And the rumor kicked out about this stock actually early throughout the day. That's why I was able to run a decent, gap up. This way it spiked, then it gapped a little bit, and it kind of ran a little bit, and it pulled back. But it was in relation to the news that was coming after hours. That's why the stock ran today. They actually they filed an 8K this evening. They entered into a definitive agreement with the Barclays Bank, which they're going to give them a certain amount of money to kind of help, build or scale into their facility or something to that degree. I think worth of over $300 million from the Barclays Bank. After hours, the pullback happened literally right before the bell closed, maybe 20, 30 minutes in, and it dipped back down to like 56 cents, somewhere around there. Offered a beautiful entry for people that saw this coming. The stock spiked to over $1.08 after hours. It just constantly it jumped up and it just kept gapping up. Shorts trying to cover it. It was getting out of the way. It gapped that way over to $1.08. I don't know if John caught the after hours, but he spoke on it as if, it kind of ended out just at that price. It actually gapped up to $1.08. So if you can take the after hours, you'll see that.
Wow.
Beautiful run.
Yeah, I do see that here. The stock right now after hours is exactly at $1. And I do see here, it did get to, I have 106, but I don't doubt it hit 108, but not bad, man. Yeah, and we close at 65 cents. It's going to have a huge day tomorrow. And, of course, as long as pre-market doesn't go overboard, because, sometimes they'll get overly too excited, and next thing you know, we're opening and running the other way. But not bad, man. Not bad.
And this one here also has, not necessarily a big gap to fill, but it has some, some reversal or some retracement to do, obviously, from the point when they kind of hit a peak, at a low, and then, kind of start to kind of, get its bullish value back. Because I guess at some point, they also had a little, some kind of business deal with Barclays at some point, and then go through some, to the defect, like how Rite Aid and Walgreens scenario was. But, the Barclays got back on board, I guess what I'm hearing to a degree, and, they reinvested or invested into them, obviously, with this definitive agreement giving them that $300 million. So tomorrow, from what I'm looking at through all the different boards I'm in and chat room, they are going to try to run this stock through the roof. I'm just putting it out there, whether you play them or you don't. It actually has news, so if you want to call it pump, which all of them are pumps to me, but regardless, you want to be where the money's at. And where it's liquid and it's volatility, that's where you need to be if you're going to play it from an intraday perspective. So they're talking about maybe $2.50, a minimum of $1.50 tomorrow. That's the minimum here. The minimum is $1.50, but they're saying $2, maybe $3 tomorrow off this play. The float is not bad. If you look at the RSI, the short interest in it, it's kind of, primed to kind of make a good run. And like I said, Barclays is a big name. Some people pay attention to that. So maybe some institutional investors may kind of also look at this because they're looking at a major player that Barclays getting behind this again, putting that kind of capital into the stock. The sky's the limit in the stock per se. So we'll see how that works out. But, that's just one of many. But I'm sure also the one big one of the day, I might have came in late and missed it. I'm sure you spoke about ALRT.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, the stock was absolutely insane today. And
Sal, that was our retirement stock, bro.
Yeah.
That was you get that once in a lifetime, guys. That stock ran up to 13,000% in one day. Yeah. 13,000%, and it was legal. It was clean. It was
it was not a pump. It was not a pump.
It was not a pump.
I thought it was a promoted stock when I saw it at first, and then you saw the FDA news. I'm like, okay, this is a real company that was really doing something.
This is the stock we've been waiting on, Sal. The ones where you say, where the FDA comes in and finds one of these baseline, borderline broke companies that got a good technology, just don't have the capital, got a good, pipeline procedure, treatment or something coming down the road, and they get granted from the FDA. And now you got institutional buyers looking at the stock. It went from what you see the price. This is our $100 set and forget it. $100 bought you what? If you bought $100 at the 0018, which it was, you're up how much today? About what is it? 12 grand? Come on,
something like that, man. Something like that. I'm going to calculate the percentage gain. I'm going to figure that out right now.
We got to talk about
what does that equal?
I know. I was in one room sale. One guy showed his profit. He showed his profit. We talking 30 grand off this stock. Another guy was up near a little higher than that. So they might have got in on the front low, and they might have got it at the level where they might have been talking about plummeting, but the news came in and made it valid. And they ate good off this stock. I mean, people all day. One of my buddies, Super NYC, he's really good at, he do short and he also do long. But he also put out his alert even when it was at 7,500. Still offered another, 7,500% on the stock. So, I mean, you could not lose in the stock either way. Most of the boards I was in, people were up like $800, like novice investors. Yeah. They were up $1,000+, on putting in like, $30 and $40, stuff like that. And they hit big today.
Hold on here. I'm seeing here.
You got to do the numbers.
if you had put $200, hopefully if I did this right.
Yes.
$200.
You do it right because we did the same thing all day today.
Okay, $200. You're up 12,000%, 12,718%. Yeah. I'm seeing here you're up $2.5 million.
You're saying that it'll be 200. It's 200,000.
Is it 200? Okay.
No, you said 200. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, what? 200. Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, so we talking 200 grand if you caught in at the 001.
Okay, all right, yeah, 200,000. Yeah, 200,000. Right. 200,000.
So and like the biggest guy that I saw, he hit for like $66,000, $67,000.
Hold on. I think it's $2 million. Hold on. $200.
You say 200? Oh yeah, 200 at 12,000%. All right, we did it from the 1,000 the 100%. I meant the $100 value.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
$200. And you're up 12,718%.
Right, and that's before it pulled back a little bit because it was really high. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're a millionaire. You're a millionaire.
So I can say that's we're talking huge gains here, huge gains. And for what it's worth, keep in mind, guys, this news came out today. It was not the kind of scenario where you get that pump and it dumps off. There's people that are sitting in this stock looking to get 30 cents out of it. Sale. They're looking for the thing,
man. I mean, I'm looking at the chart here. The stock was basically doing nothing. I do see here there was some news that was dropped back in January of 2016 regarding their operating budget. But I mean, there was nothing out there for you to be able to even guess, you know, first of all, it's an OTC stop sign, pink, no information stock. Let me see here. What else? The company had not put out any filings since January of 2017. The last time before that was February of 2016, almost a year prior.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, there was really nothing to even, you know, for anybody to even think that, okay, this could possibly do something. You had to be just, you know, a fortune teller for you to be able to get, you know, any kind of win on this one. But obviously, when the news dropped, everybody could have gotten into ALRT based on the chart here, as you see here. It dropped. It just moved open. This is not a gap up or anything like this. Everybody had an opportunity in this one. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't even grab a piece of it because I didn't know what the hell was going on until I saw the news. But nice move on ALRT.
And definitely one to put on your watch list tomorrow for you guys to play the OTC market. You would be a fool not to put this on your watch list tomorrow.
I think you can get another 100% at least.
Easily.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're talking between 20 to 30 cents tomorrow. And this is what I'm saying, you know, some of the rooms I'm in. Because everybody that pulled profit and got back in, you know, once it kind of pulled back, they bought back in for that long haul. Because this is, once again, this is FDA news. This is FDA clearance granted. But insulin, you know, insulin is one of those kind of markets where, in terms of pharmaceutical, those are very, very well kept and very, you know, sought out type of medical values that they want to add to, you know, like kind of like liver cancer, something like that, you know what I'm saying? So you're dealing with something that's serious. So regardless if we respect the callus or not, you got to deal with it from the perspective that this is a money maker that came out of the ashes and probably can see yourself some way probably in the NASDAQ or the Amex at some point, or NASDAQ per se. So I think it's well in doubt worth kind of keeping an eye on for tomorrow. And like you said, it's down easy 100% tomorrow. If nothing else, just from the momentum that's still in the stock. It's swollen with people just waiting for it to get higher. So just keep that on your radar as well, guys. And like I say, very good day of trading, man. Super excited about, you know, how the market is treating us. We don't know if it's going to last or not because we got all this stuff going on behind us with Trump and so forth. And the Fed's got the news coming out. And that's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, right? The Fed's doing their thing tomorrow?
Yeah, that's tomorrow. I'm not looking at any stocks that are going to be affected by that. But, yeah, absolutely. That's going to be tomorrow.
Right. So just keep that in mind, guys, while you're out there, too. And real quick, just to touch on this, and I'll get off the line. Hold up. So the cryptocurrency game, real quick. And I know a lot of guys have been asking about it. They're starting to get more on board. You know, we just had some very beautiful dips that, you know, that opened up over the last couple of weeks because of all the news that they came out about China and Russia and whatever. But what we're finding out through the crypto, you know, I guess the blockchain and the different chipboards, that a lot of it, some of that stuff was also playing and by design. Where you had the CEO of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, came out and make that very, you know, incendiary comment that Bitcoin was a fraud only because like him and the likes of Mark Cuban couldn't get in at the good price interest, and now they're actually starting to buy into Bitcoin. I'm sure you read that article. He talked about it, and then his firm, literally within that same week, they turned around and bought the baseline dip on Bitcoin. And said he would fire anybody in his firm, and he caught them buying it, and he turned around, and he turned out to be a scam artist and bought some himself. Now, where they do that at if this ain't serious about, you know, Bitcoin going the way it's supposed to be in terms of its uptrend. And the one guy that said that, you know, he's looking forward to being, this is a well-known, I guess, analyst that he's all over CNBC and other places, where they're talking about by 2020 that Bitcoin possibly be between $15,000 to $20,000 a coin. So if you want to get in on the opportunity, guys, this is our set and forget it moment. This is us kind of, you know, paying for our kids tuition through college, right? Obviously, we don't get a chance to get an ART, you know, on average. But, you know, it's a solid possible investment, guys. You guys really want to think about. This might be our Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon of our time, you know. So, hey, who's to say? So, but the best thing about it, you can buy it at fractional value. You don't have to go out and put the whole amount in. You can get you one of these little apps that, you know, that trades at Coinbase, Kraken, Victors, whatever. And, you know, put your few in there, you know, but who knows? But like I say, just something to think about, guys. I want to put that out there. And you know, like as always, power and profit to everybody. Uncle Josh and Nell, and keep doing what you're doing, Sal.
There it is. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Africa Emporium.
Thank you as well, brother.
There it is. So shout out to Africa Emporium, all my callers. Let's knock out some tickers and then get up out of here. I know many of you guys got things to do. All right. So again, thank you to all my callers. We're going to go ahead and knock out some tickers now. Let me go ahead and again give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All my callers. Appreciate you, Bats, and some of the other people in the chat room also correcting that. So it looks like it was about a couple $100,000 that $200 would have turned into. But again, as I said, there was just no way you could have seen this coming. There's just no way. I mean, there's just no way. The filings are way too old. Even the company just didn't let anybody know they were doing anything. They didn't let anybody know they were doing anything. And, again, it kind of goes back to those, trading OTC stocks. You really got to be a sleuth, a detective, to really, stay on top of these companies. All right. One scam that I'm watching and I'm doing my best to shit on is MGTI. MGTI is a fucking, piece of shit stock that I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I want to see this go to zero. I have a feeling it's done, and the company has kind of rebranded itself as a Bitcoin miner. I mean, just a load of turd. And you're seeing the same kind of group of guys on Twitter trying to get people to sucker into buying this thing. And we got the doji that I wanted to see today. That was a beautiful move after two pretty good gains in MGTI. So hopefully, we're looking to see either a nice move back down to the 220s or so. But I think MGTI, again, if we can just put some pressure in it, downside pressure, get some word out about who this guy is, what they're really doing, the balance sheet, the toxic financing, that's just all over this shit bag. I think we can get the kind of returns that we're looking for in MGTI. All right, longs have to do their work. Shorts got to do their work. I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game. Hate the game. All right. You said Sykes loves shorting beat MGTI. Yeah, that's one of his favorites. It's one of his favorites. 602, you're on the air. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, man? It's Poker Pro from Arizona.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. First, I just want to say thank you so much for your videos. I've been day trading, honestly, for only about 20 days. And today with ALRT, that was basically my my whole teaching or my whole learning experience put into motion today.
Damn.
By you, African Employment, the Discord, and I'm on your guys' Discord on there, and I'm watching you guys. And this morning somebody posted on there about ALRT right when it was first spiking up. So I got in at 3.4 cents.
Shit.
About 4,000 shares. And I saw it get up to 14 cents today, and I said, all right, you know what? I'm done. I sold it at 13.45.
Yeah. I mean, how much did you throw at it? Because this is one of those plays, man. If you knew what was going on, I mean, you just had to throw everything at that thing. But honestly, we always got to trade for tomorrow. So, what do you end up getting on it? If you don't mind telling us.
It was almost 40.
Yeah.
I tossed in. I bought it at. I'm looking at it right now. Hold on. I got to go on my E-Trade account and see the transactions. I bought it at $136.
Yeah.
Plus the commission thing, so it was only $5, so $140.
Yeah. I mean, that's incredible gain on a stock like that, man. I mean, that's, and again, OTCs, for all the crap people talk about them, I mean, you can't deny the kind of return on investment when it goes right. And, ALRT really delivered for investors today. So I'm glad you made some money on it.
So here's something that I wanted to throw out that not a lot of people are talking about, because I honestly believe that it is a bad stock. So I live in North Phoenix, Arizona, And there's a company that was on the news last night that wants to create a marijuana oasis. They're called American Green. The ticker is ERBB.
Yeah.
If you want to check that out.
Very familiar
All
with
right.
ERBB. Go ahead.
All right. So I started looking up their YouTube videos, and then I started watching the news feed when they were on Channel 10 out here, Channel 5. And today on E-Trade, they announced that that the transaction was officially complete. So they now officially own a city in California, Nipton, California. So on the bottom it says, American Green successfully completes transaction for the purchase of Nipton, California ahead of schedule at 8 o'clock Eastern time this morning.
Yeah.
So it started at 0017. I bought it at 0017 when the market opened. Now, it instantly jumped up to 0020, but never hit that mark again, and only stayed between 19, 18, and 17 today, the whole day, when there was 577 million shares traded today.
Yeah.
What does that represent to you?
A ridiculous high float, a lot of people who, to be honest with you, are probably in there and just looking to cash out. When a company buys an entire city, this stock should be running like crazy. It should be running like crazy, just like we saw today in ALRT. But the fact that it put up this amount of volume and didn't move, that means you had people who were selling into this news. So people who knew this news was coming out and used this as an opportunity to come out on the other side with cash and get rid of their shares. So I think this was a situation where you had, either friends of the company, family, or maybe you'll see in the future a Form 4 released showing that directors were literally selling into the news today. So only time will tell with ERBB. But I think that's kind of exactly what happened today.
I used some of the profits today and bought 1 million shares. And so they're located here in Arizona. They're actually located only 10 miles away from where I live. The location on Google Maps honestly looks like a dump. So tomorrow, I called them up earlier today when I bought the shares, and I asked them if I could come in. I told them that I bought shares into their company based on the news and would like to ask them a couple of questions about their business and their next phase since they just bought the city. And I'm going to videotape it. So I'll stick that like on Discord or something, wherever I can, so you guys can kind of see, get a first-hand analysis of what basically they're up to.
Absolutely. Post it on YouTube. Put the ticker, $ ERBB, and it'll spread, man. Definitely do that. Yeah.
So like I said, I don't know. It was just it was marijuana news that just sounds like never before. So it sparked something in my head that I needed to jump on that. But there's only been literally one person texting me on StockTwits that's saying it's a joke, but nobody else. So it's like I needed an extra opinion. So I'll do the videotape. I'll ask as many questions as possible. I'll post it on YouTube, and I'll let you guys know.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Caller from Arizona. Killing it, man. And he's good he's in a great spot right now in that, at 0017. We'll see what happens. But that was a kind of a shitty move, because that was some great news to really see that stock run. But it's clear that there was some inside selling here today, because you're putting up 500 million shares and you close up 0001. That's again, that could just be float, or it's just, somebody's just selling into that news. All right. A lot of tickers, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of tickers. Let me see here. Somebody bringing up GMGI. I know that's another OTC play. What are they doing? Okay, 0006. Not much on that one. I'm seeing a lot of people tweeting about DTII. What is that? All right, looks like DTII sold off. All right. Not much to see there. Not much to see there. Again, we talked earlier about Oracle. Oracle selling off. Again, for my option people, that looks really, really good. That looks really, really good. BONT. Don't see anything just yet. Nice candlestick today. Let's get confirmation tomorrow. You know, usually on those kind of plays, I like to see it go all the way around, find some support, and then I want to ride it up. But it looks like we're still making our, finishing touches here on that sell-off. But the volume isn't even really one to get excited about. All right, let me come see a couple other plays you guys are talking about. Shout out to Africa Emporium. He put out some tickers out there. I think Sdrl. There was one play today that sold off real bad. That we talk about here on the show. SBI. There we go. That's the ticker. SBI came out and said today that they were planning to list their quote-unquote ordinary shares for trading on NASDAQ. I didn't understand what they meant by that, because I'm thinking, isn't this is not their ordinary shares? So if somebody can clarify that for me, let me know, because I'm confused in the language here. Because I was under the impression that these SBI shares, which were killed 74% today, down 74%. I didn't see anybody in the chat room bring it up, so I guess nobody was really looking at it. These are one of those plays that you'll see guys like the Billy Rays of the world and whatnot make 50 grand on, because they announced they're either going bankruptcy or getting delisted or whatever. But down 74% in one day today. So, I would be looking at this tomorrow possibly. You just never know with these things. You know what I mean? You just never really know with these things. Let's look at the 5 minute in it. Let's look at the 5 minute again. Here was the gap down from the morning. And the people basically in it didn't know what to do. I mean, they just didn't know what to do. All right. They didn't know what to do. That's SBI for you. We'll see what happens tomorrow. All right. We also saw a sell-off in last week's favorite, NETE. NETE sold off a little bit today. Here's NETE. No shares available for me. NETE down almost 10% today. See if that's an opportunity for dip buyers to come in tomorrow, or maybe not. All right. So some of our favorite stocks last week, as I say, old news becomes becomes old news. And that's what's happened with some of our favorite stocks from last week as traders start to go other places. All right, got different stocks running. Everybody moves on. Everybody moves on. All right. Yeah. SBI should get some movement tomorrow on SBI. We should get some movement over there. That's a nice little catalyst for that stock. Nice little catalyst for that stock. So keep your eye on it. I mean, just keep your eye on it. Keep your eye on it. This is what the 5 minute chart today looked like. Again, there was just really nothing that could happen here when, again, all these people waking up to their account literally being shaved in half, actually over 70%. All they want to do is run. All they want to do is run. Okay, a couple more tickers before we get out of here. Other than that, Jones Energy, I did see somebody bring up Jones Energy, Jone. That was a nice move today, up 16%. 2.3 million shares brought up in JONE. Oil and gas play continues to do very, very well. We talked about this last week when we were looking at some opportunities, but it was moving so slowly. So finally, nice to see Jones Energy putting up double digits, because it was gaining, it was gaining, but we were seeing, 2%, 3%. I think it was like 6 or 7, and then, it was just very, very slow, very slow. And there were just opportunities to do other things at that time, being there were more aggressive movers running. So nice to see Jones Energy, though, pulling higher. All right, now actually looking almost too hot today with that move. Might see a small pullback tomorrow. We'll see on that. But after hours right now, looking at crude. Crude, again, now over $50. You guys remember last week we were seeing oil having a hard time. 48, 49.30, 49.10. We're over $50. We're over $50 now. 50.24 right now. And $50 oil is nice. $50 oil is nice. I mean, you're going to see a lot of stocks that were beat up for a very long time. The smaller companies do really well right now. So I would be looking at some of those plays that have been beat up, over the last several weeks, and riding them higher. Riding them higher. Let me see. There was a couple ones that we saw last week. I don't have all those tickers down here, but that did very, very well over the last 2 days. One of the ones I know we followed here closely, WLL. Again, this is kind of one of those ones that we just need to see it start to, have buyers really commit to it. Have buyers commit to it. So we'll see what happens. WLL, as you can see here, got volatility, but it's going the wrong way. So $50 oil, let's see that start running again. All right, SN, Jones Energy as well. Shout out to John from Florida for calling those in. Those are stickers you need to be looking at as well. NECA, yeah, we took a look at those. MYOS, it's a stock that's got some spikeability to it. Hasn't done much recently, but I mean, you could have said the same thing for HMNY over the last couple of weeks. Again, another stock with a lot of spikeability, and all of a sudden today, over the course of the last couple of days, just been absolutely insane. HMNY is going to squeeze people tomorrow, but I think the news now, I think, is gotten old. So I think HMNY sells off tomorrow. But be careful. If you got some traders up there who are loaded pretty heavy, they could very well get squeezed. But I think you've got some other tickers that are much more higher probability that traders going to want to move their money to. So you may not have the strength to really keep you higher tomorrow on HMNY. I mean, insane move today. Insane move today. Watched it yesterday. I was looking for the breakout yesterday. But didn't happen. Even though, again, we ran today on the same news that was available yesterday. So, interesting setup on HMNY. What's going on, low-key? ZN jumped up. ZN is one that can move too. Very volatile stock, ZN. All right. Yeah, very volatile stock, as you can see here. This one can move. Like to see a little bit more volume, 400,000, 500,000 if, can get a little sketchy, but not bad on those. All right, so let me go ahead and get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Nice trading day today, man. You don't really get a lot of days like this. You really do not get a lot of days like this. So again, as I always say, I mean, you just got to put your money at work. I don't care if you are under the PDT rule. You got guys in here who have Robinhood and TD and E-Trade. They got all three of them. So they got more than enough opportunities during the week to take advantage of some of these moves. And at the end of the day, you're here to, do as much risk management as you can, but at the same time, take some risk so you can continue to grow. Continue to grow. All right. My short list is long and strong. I got a lot of tickers, but not looking to get squeezed. So just waiting for some red days to show up in many of these plays that did very, very well today. I'm not even going to try to, test them tomorrow, as I have no doubt you're going to have some people running for their lives tomorrow in some of these plays, thinking that they're tapped out. Especially when you're looking at a play like WAC. I have no doubt there are people already in there. There are people already in there going to be running for their life tomorrow on WAC. It was a stock that, doesn't have necessarily a great history of maintaining, runs. So there was every reason for someone to look at WAC, especially after that, previous run back here in August, and say, oh, well, I can just go ahead and short that. If I got the money, sure, I'll put up $250, knowing that I'm going to get my money back. Now they're running for their life tomorrow morning. Now they are running. And they're in the hole heavy already. Already. So, yes, indeed. I have no idea. I was asking people in the chat room why Best Buy dropped today. I see here they released dividend yesterday. They released the dividend yesterday. I see the pullback started yesterday on the day of issuance of that dividend. Could that play a part? I guess so. I mean, because I don't see any other reason. All right. So that's pretty much it for the large caps. Other than that, it was a great day on the exchanges. You had the typical plays run. Amazon, Google, all of them did pretty well. Guys who short the VIX are still making a killing. Still making a killing. My VIX guys, they're still making a killing shorting that thing. Although I do believe, if they eventually do launch something, they're going to be squeezed to death. All right, so volatility, as you can see here, in the market is still, very, very low on these more expensive large cap stocks, as the trend still very, very in the favor of this bull market. Still very much in the favor of this bull market. All right, NVIDIA is insane, man. NVIDIA is insane. NVIDIA is insane. I can remember here having the show, asking you guys, back in May. What was that? No, what was that when what's his name came out? Yeah, this was June. The guy from Citron Research came out and basically shitted on NVIDIA and said, it doesn't deserve to be $160 or something like this. This was like around here. I believe it was around, it might have been earlier than that. I think it was actually earlier than that. I think it was, definitely wasn't. Actually, may have been June. Was it June? When that Citron Research jerk. I don't know why CNBC allows him to just come on, whenever he's in the mood to shit on the stock, they let him come on TV. And I was asking to buy 150s again, somewhere around here. I can't remember when it was. But yeah, those 180 calls at that time, I mean, if you go and look on your broker, those 180 calls were going for like a nickel, 6 cents. If you had the gall to go that far out, which most people don't, but again, and it's not because you don't want to, it's because you can't, right? Because, I mean, because we're not banks, we're not financial institutions, we're not allowed to just print currency like many of these multinational banks can, through the dirt cheap, rates they get from the Fed. They can take positions, they can take insane positions. I mean, 190, 200, 220 calls already being taken. I'm looking at the 220 calls with 2,000 open interest calls already out on it. On the 220s, on the 200s. That's obviously institution, that's private equity, private wealth management, people who have generation upon generation of wealth who can do that thing. So the game is rigged. I've always said the game was rigged for people who have money, but we've just got to continue to work with what we have and grow what we have, to eventually, if not us, then our children to get to that level. All right. So with that being said, let me get out of here, folks. Great trading day as always. Let me get out of here. Time for bed and then early morning to get up and get it again. All right. Appreciate you guys watching me today. Q-Tech, Bat Scientist, Africa Emporium. The Quickst, appreciate it, sir. Derek Graham. All right. He's put out a ticker on there. Joe Silver. Who else is out in here? Londell Carter, Old Boy Peach, Low Key, Africa Emporium. All my callers today. I appreciate all of you guys. Join my Discord room. Most of you guys in here are already in there. Great place to be in the morning. If you're already on the Discord, add me to your your many different chat rooms that I'm sure many of you guys are already in. Invite other people. If you're in another Discord room, send me an invite. Love seeing what you guys are doing on other Discord rooms. I know we got some people who don't want to share, but they're Discord rooms, but it's all good though. We're gonna continue to stay strong and grow and make money, because that's what it's all about. Yes, indeed. Appreciate it, guys. Take care. See you tomorrow.